Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm the creator and the founder of Perfectfringe. So who are we? Well, Perfectfringe was started by myself, and it was 18 years ago now that I stumbled into this fascinating, stunning world of helper hair. And it really is, as cliche as it might sound, it really did start with just a young girl, me, obsessed with hair and how it looked and how it moved. I remember even as a child, I would always be like, wow, I like that lady's hair. And I was fascinated with the way it looked, the way it moved, the colours, the way it glistened in the sun. For me, it wasn't hair, it was art. The way my eye looked at hair, it was in an artistic way. I could never quite understand why I couldn't get my own hair to look like that. So although as a young child, you did what you're meant to do. I went to school, did my A levels, I went to uni, I did my degree, but that wasn't my passion. My passion was hair, and that was what I did in my spare time. That was when I went to my room and I closed the door and I was dabbling with hair extensions and I was doing all these different things, and I was just always trying to find a way to make my hair look a certain way. And the options available to you back then, the clip-ins, the tape-ins, wigs, they just weren't giving me the look I wanted. So I persevered. I thought, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. I want my hair to look like these women I see in the magazines, because we didn't even have, the social media as much as we have now. So back then it was magazines and, models. And I didn't get how they had all of this hair. And I had, short, curly, frizzy, Greek textured hair. And I was always blow drying it. It was always very dry. And I was like, how can I get this? How can I get this look? So back then it was still very much a hobby. Now, right when Perfectfringe started, the reason we're called Perfectfringe is because I started by hand making clip-on fringes. That was how I started. I was a young mom. I just had my son back then, and I was just dabbling in creating these little fringes, and I was really good at it. Again, I think I was creative from a young child. I was always messing around with hair, so it wasn't new to me. And I remember my clients, my eBay customers, just being really happy. Not all of them, because, I had just started, but most of them, happy and sending me before and after photos. And then I'd use those photos to, I don't know, build my little brand. It wasn't even a brand back then. I had just started. And it was a hobby. I loved it. I was passionate about it. So moving on throughout the years, I started getting requests, can you do a topper? Can you do this? I didn't even know what toppers were back then. I genuinely didn't know. So, of course, as with anything, you learn, you teach yourself, you evolve. And I started creating toppers. They were small. They weren't, the big glamorous toppers that I create now. They were small pieces, but, I was still very good at it. Not always. When I very first started, I must admit, I wasn't very good at it. And it's just me being honest. I had just started. But as time went on, I learnt, and because I enjoyed it, it didn't feel tedious. It didn't feel like I was learning. I was fascinated. So for me, I would say it went from being a hobby and an art, and me looking at it in a way of, how can I look better? How can my hair look better? How can my clients look better? The crossroad for me was when my mum had a brain tumour. So it was, I'd say, it was when I had my daughter, and she's 12. So it was about 12 years ago. So I was sort of like just entering the hair world. I was learning. I was doing all the colours, and I was doing all the clip-ons. I was still hand making. I was hand making the little seamless fillers, and I was very creative. I was very arty. But when that happened, when my mum was diagnosed with a brain tumour, for me, everything changed. It really changed the way I looked at things. And there's nothing quite like something happening to your mum for you to be like, hold on a minute, hair isn't just how we look, is it? Actually, this is something a lot bigger. And that's when I really, I remember she'd had a craniotomy. So they'd cut from one end of her head to the other to remove the tumour. She then got a bleed. So then they did it again to remove the clot. But anyway, I remember very vividly, and I don't think I will ever forget this. I just remember her looking in the mirror, and she was very sick. She was very poorly. I mean, she couldn't even lift up the tea in front of her. It was her functions had gone. And I remember her saying, "Oh my God, my hair." And I remember thinking, of all the things happening to mum right now, I was just, I was just surprised that she cared about her hair at that time. And I think that's when I got that aha moment. So I took that, and that stayed with me. And I started looking at this from a very different point of view. And I saw firsthand, actually, hair's a really big deal for people. People are really suffering with their hair loss. And that's when I really ventured and thought, right, we have to create a good top of hair. We can't, have people who are unhappy with their hair loss and how they feel. And so it's a mental thing that we all go into at some point in our lives, suffer in some way mentally with whether or not it's stress or work stress or health problems. But I started, the more I, evolved, and, the bigger I got, the more clients I had, the more I spoke to people, the more I realized that there are some really bad wigs and toppers out there. And it's so unfair that not only are they losing their hair, they're desperate to find a solution. They're spending their hard-earned money in the hope that they're going to get that perfect piece, and they were constantly disappointed. So that's when I thought, no, I'm putting everything together, and I'm going to create something fantastic. And I was very determined, very passionate, and I don't forget, I loved it. I loved working with hair. I loved creating the colors. I loved doing the cuts. I mean, yes, I was still learning. I'm still learning. I will always learn. I have been doing it now 18 years, and I would say in the last 12, 13 years, probably 8-9 hours a day of working with colors and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And only now I can go, yes, I've done it. Like, I've created a really good piece. I mean, this isn't my hair. This is the hair topper. But now I'm like, I'm going to create the most fantastic hair toppers. And not just that, but I'm not going to sell anyone a dream anymore. I'm going to sell a really good product that does what it says. And my clients are going to, so when I have video consults with clients, and of course they're telling me how they feel, in the back of my mind, I think, I'm going to change your life. But I don't want to be, too full of myself. But I know, because obviously I've been doing it so long now, and I've helped so many clients, I know that client's life's going to change, because I'm so honest with it, and I'm not going to sell you the wrong thing. And I know my topper is good. I know the hair quality is good. I know my colourship is good. I know the cuts are good. So now I really feel very lucky and very blessed, because not only am I doing what I love, yeah, I studied. Yes, I've got that psychology degree. Yeah, I probably did it to make mum and dad happy. But did I love it? No. So now I'm lucky because I do what I love. And I say to my children now, if you are lucky enough to do what you love, then it's okay. It's okay just to feel happy doing what you love. And I feel like I am. And not only that, I've helped tens of thousands of women. And I will never tire of hearing, Andrea, you changed my life. Andrea, thank you so much, Andrea, because I feel it took me so long to get to that point. And I always promised myself I would do it in a really transparent and a really honest way. And I would treat my clients how I would want my mum to be treated when she was going through her, her hair loss and her issues with that. And, I've helped my best friend through cancer. I've helped auntie, one of my aunties was in a fire and she lost her hair. I've been really blessed to help those super close to me as well. And it's a really lovely part of my job to see that happy smile when they get their hair and they're really happy. Like, I can't begin to tell you how happy that makes me. And myself, I know for myself, I wear my topper every single day when I go out. Obviously if I'm not going anywhere, I won't wear it. And the boost it gives me when I clip it on, and that aha moment I get, I now know how my clients feel, because I'm also wearing it. I'm also feeling that boost. I'm also getting those hair compliments. So who are we? Well, I'm Andrea, and I created this company just through a love, fascination for hair and empathy to want to help others feel good in themselves. And it really is just that. There's nothing else to it. There's no gimmicks. There's no huge social production. It is just a girl, well, I'm a woman now, who just loves and has passion for both the hair and the art and the craft, and my clients. And I couldn't do it without my clients. I've got some ladies who've been with me from the very, very, very beginning, when I was making those little hand-tied perfect fringes. And they've stayed with me, and that just means a lot. So basically I couldn't do it without you guys. And also I listen to the feedback, so if something hasn't worked along the way, I won't do it anymore. If somebody wants something that I'm not doing, and it, and you guide me, so I don't, that's why we invented the skinny toppers, just through you guys saying to me, we don't want a lot of hair, or all the fabulous colors, or best sellers. And I listen. I'm always listening, always asking, I'm always listening, and I'm always learning. That's the most important thing. I'm open to learning, and who knows where the future will take Perfect Fringe. But for now, that's who we are, that's how we started. And all I hope for Perfect Fringe's future is that we just continue doing what we do best, and that's great hair and making people happy. And if along the way, anything comes up that isn't working, then I'm willing to learn from it and do better and be better, and that's all anyone can actually do. So I'm going to end it there. Thanks for listening. If you have questions, please reach out. I'm not going to sell you something that doesn't work for you. It is not in our best interests for our clients to wear the wrong hair, and it's not in your best interests for me to sell you something. So reach out. We'll do free video consults. Send your photos, send your measurements. It's a journey. There's no quick fix, there's no quick sale, it's a journey of learning what works for you, and we learn what you love and what you don't love, and then we carry our clients through the journey. We do free UK returns, and if you're not in the UK, then we ask for postage both ways, but we won't take a processing fee. So that's a great way to get it on, put it on, try it on, see how you feel. And sometimes if it doesn't work out for you and the colors or the length is slightly wrong, at least then we both know, because we're learning together, which piece will work for you next time. And I remember everything. My brain is quite photographic. I'll be like, oh, Emily needs a darker root, oh, Claudia needs a shorter leg. I will remember, and if I don't, then just remind me. So thanks for everything. Thanks for helping us be where we got to today. I promise to just do my best, God willing, as long as I stay healthy, to carry on, as long as my hands keep going, to carry on doing my very best for you all. And you have my word. All right, ladies, take care. Bye.